Alright guys, in my last video, how to be a birth partner like a boss, I gave you 5 tips so you can be the best thing that has ever happened to your wife during labor. However, tip number 5, choose the right birth environment. Begs a question, because I suggested home as the best environment to have a baby.
What's the question?
Geez, the question is, are home births safe? Let's start answering this question with some statistics from the New England Medical Journal. And by the way, there are other statistics out there with very similar numbers. Labor starts, mom takes a trip to the hospital. Yo, Miss Preggers is here. What should we do? Just get her to fill out the paperwork and then hook her up to the monitor so we know what's going on. Oh, my contractions are gone. Oh no, labor's slowing down. Get the Pitocin. What? Who needs to be induced? Only every third or fourth woman that comes to the hospital. Oh yeah, I forgot. So the risk of getting induced is 6 times higher in the hospital than in a home birth. Oh. The Pitocin's working, I can barely handle it. I want an epidural. Yo, Miss Preggers needs an epidural. Why don't you know that 45% of women have severe side effects from epidurals? Just keep in mind, Pitocin epidural, 22% of the babies' heart rates were gonna drop. Oh, it's happening, man. Let's do a C-section like with every 4th woman in the hospital. Oh, you mean the major surgery of cutting the belly open? That comes with longer recovery, higher infection rates, and also increased complications in future pregnancies? Alright, let's do it! The risk of severe tearing is also much higher over here in the hospital. Well, if we're at it, the risk of using operational equipment to get the baby out is also 3 to 4 times higher. Guys, I'm neither a doctor nor the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I do understand that if you rush a natural process, it almost always comes with side effects. With all these statistics, you might wonder, why don't they just slow down and give the mom time? Well, because time is money, a hospital is a business with a bottom line to it, and more births equal more money, and more births in less time equal more money in less time. Don't take my word for it, but watch the documentary, The Business of Being Born, and make your own conclusions on that one. I know I'm biased, but I'm also a dad of 6 children who were all born at home. And all 6 home births were uneventful. My wife and I believe that the parents who don't have a high-risk pregnancy can prepare to have high chances of having a healthy home birth. And in order to do so, we created a course teaching you everything we know so you can have the highest success rate with the least amount of physical damage for mom and baby. I put the link to the course below this video. And speaking of below, please leave some comments if you think I'm being too ridiculous. Should I make more videos like this? And certainly put in your questions that you might have for this topic. Of course, keep in mind, none of this is medical advice, and if you guys are having a high-risk pregnancy, please be wise and make the right choice.
What about emergencies?
We're talking about home births after all. Well, don't worry, we're about to cover that. But let's recall the 4 most common interventions. Going to the hospital is the first intervention, then getting induced, getting an epidural, and last but not least, getting a C-section. Of course, hopefully the baby is born sooner throughout this process, and ideally none of those are necessary, but like I said earlier, every 4th woman that goes to the hospital has these kind of interventions. Let me quote Dr. Jeffrey Ecker, who is a professor at Harvard Medical School. He says, "Sometimes emergencies happen, and having the tools, medicines, and facilities to respond quickly can make a difference. However, having all these things at hand means they will also be used in cases which doing nothing would have been just fine." All right, let's talk emergencies and the fear factor. Let's be real. When most guys and girls hear home birth, our first thought is, what if something goes wrong? That's because that we've been conditioned to think that birth is a medical emergency that requires machines, bright lights, and a team of doctors standing by. Remember the last time you've seen a calm, peaceful birth in a Hollywood movie? Yeah, me neither. And how many actual births are women on stretchers getting raced down to the hospital aisles, busting doors open, pushed by doctors and nurses, going nuts, and everybody's like freaking out and screaming? Well, I would argue it's very, very few. Because here's the truth. Birth is a natural process. Women's bodies were created to do this, to give birth. And in a healthy, low-risk pregnancy, studies show clearly that home births are safer than hospital births. Now let's talk about the people that are with you at birth. All right, you're not in your living room, winging this, pulling up a YouTube tutorial on having a baby. No, you have a midwife with you, that is trained, that knows what's going on. And if something happens, the midwife knows, okay, we do need to go to the hospital. The midwife can see that. They are trained. They monitor mom and baby every step of the way, and they know how to handle things. All right, ladies, listen clearly as I'm speaking to my male audience here. Because birth isn't just about where it happens, it's about who is there and who and how they support the mom. And if you haven't watched my last video, I talked about the 3 superpowers that every man brings into the birthing environment. And these are: you shorten the labor time with your presence being there, when you lower the stress, which is the second thing. And the third, which is really powerful for mom, is you help decrease the pain mom experiences during contractions. So all in all, you really help to create a more positive birth experience and help mom to feel confident that she can deliver this baby. And if you're thinking, man, I know you're talking about this, you've done it 6 times. Well, again, I teach you everything I know in our Healthy Homebirth course, so you are equipped and ready to serve your wife. And by the way, my wife teaches the mom a whole lot more in this course, so you both can be ready to have a healthy home birth. I'm putting the link below in the notes of this video. Go check it out and have a phenomenal birth experience. Now go be the hero your wife and your baby need you to be. You got this, Dad. Let's go.